Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, my name is Matthew, also known as RedFlyer, and today I have another top 5 video for you guys. And today we're going to be talking about the top 5 best new starter cars for high schoolers. And I really emphasize new because I already know there's going to be people in the comment section saying, I bought my 2010 Camaro SS for less than all of these cars and it goes faster than all of them. I know that. But today's video is about new cars. And there's many different reasons people would want to buy new cars. If they want to keep them through college, or maybe they're going to share them with their family or their siblings or something after they graduate, or there's reasons people want new cars for reliability, for insurance. There are different reasons. And if you want to buy a used car, go ahead and do it. I probably would agree with you and probably would buy a used car if I did it myself again. I don't know. But today we're going to talk about the best new cars for high schoolers, not used cars. So if you want to drop a nasty comment, do it right now. Don't bother sitting through the whole video. But anyways, we're going to be talking about the top 5 best new cars for high schoolers, and I'm going to get right into the video. Starting out at number 5 is, of course, going to be the Ford Focus SE, which is ironic because it's the car that I drive. It's the car that I drive, although I drive the automatic one. All of these cars on this list are available in manual, and I'm assuming that you would be buying a manual one because for your first car, I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't. I didn't for other reasons that I'll talk about in a different video. But, I mean, I don't see why not. So, all these cars are available in manual. So, for a manual 2018 Ford Focus SE, it's going to run you around $17,000. You want to make sure it is a SE model. So, it is the sport package with the sportier rims, the rear lip spoiler, the fog lights. And if it's an automatic, the paddle shifters, but if it's manual, clearly it's not going to have those. But it's a little bit sportier, it's subtle, but it definitely makes the car look a lot better. It's going to run you around $17,000. It's a 2.0 liter inline 4 engine, as are all of the cars on this list. But some of them are turboed, some of them are not. And also, one other thing I should say is that all of these cars are going to be under $20,000, simply because maybe I'll make a second video for like super rich kids or something, best new cars. But I would assume that for your first car, you're not going to be spending more than $20,000. At least the average person wouldn't be. And finally, the Ford Focus SE, it does have 160 horsepower, which doesn't sound like a ton, but it's a fairly light car. It's actually quite quick. The steering is really light. I can say that from experience again because I drive it, and I really prefer that, to be totally honest. It's easy to kind of weave in and out. It's quite a fun car to drive, even though it's not super fast. You're definitely gonna have fun with it, and with a manual, I'm sure it'd be even more fun. Than I use paddle shifters, so not too different, but still, it's a great car. It looks great. The interior is pretty good quality. Mine does have a screen on the inside. It's not a touch screen, but it does have a little screen, which is an upgrade from some of the other cars on this list. And it's all good quality materials, and it's quite a great car. So that's why it's number 5 on this list. And number 4 is actually going to be the 2018 Kia Forte LX. And you might ask why the Kia is ahead of the Ford Focus, and to be quite honest, these cars are almost exactly the same. From the exterior, I don't know which came first. I'm pretty sure, well, the Focus came first, but I'm not sure which one came first with this style. I think the Focus did, but the Kia Forte looks extremely similar to the Ford Focus from the outside. I see them all the time, and I think they're Focuses. The only way to really tell the difference are sometimes the Fortes have the chrome all the way around the windows, although the Ford Focus titaniums do as well. And the taillights are a little bit more rounded, and then the front grills are different, obviously, because it has that Kia style front grille. But other than that, they're super similar in the shape and from the body from the outside. So they're quite similar from the outside. Also, they both have 2.0 liter inline 4 engines, and they both have 160 horsepower. So they're pretty much putting down the same power as well. The only difference between them, and the reason that the Kia Forte was ahead of the Ford Focus, is that you can get a Kia Forte for around $15,000, the LX model, where the SE, the Ford Focus SE, you can get a Ford Focus S starting at like 14, 15, but those aren't as nice. Those don't have the sport package and the better upgrades. For the Ford Focus SE, it's going to run you around $17,000. So the Forte is significantly cheaper. I mean, you're paying for the brand, so Kia is a cheaper brand than Ford. That's without question. So that's why it is cheaper. Now, if you don't mind brands, totally go for the Kia Forte LX. Other than that, they're quite similar. Again, for the exterior, they look the same. On the interior, the Kia Forte is a bit worse in my opinion, just because it doesn't have that full screen. It just has one of those like red light screens where it only has like red and it's not all different colors like the Ford Focus one. The interior is a little bit cheaper in my opinion, but it's really not a noticeable difference. And if you really wanted to, you could get like an aftermarket radio anyway, so I probably will for my Focus. So it's not a huge difference, and you know, for that much cheaper, it is significantly cheaper than the Ford Focus, and it's pretty much the same car. So that's why it's number 4 on this list. And number 3 on this list is going to be the 2018 Subaru Impreza. All these cars are 2018s, by the way, if you couldn't figure that out. But the Impreza is going to run you around $17,000, so about the same for the Ford Focus. It's going to run a 2.0 liter inline-4 engine, and it's actually only going to make 152 horsepower, which is 8 less than the Focus and the Forte. Although, are you really going to notice 8 horsepower? Probably not. And if you really want, you can get an air intake, and then it'll probably balance right out of 60 anyways, 160. But the reason that it's ahead of the Focus and the Forte is simply that it looks a little bit nicer in my opinion. And I love the way my Focus looks, but the Forte, or not the Forte, the Impreza looks just a little bit nicer. It has the chrome trim, which, you know, some people feel differently about chrome. I probably wouldn't even keep the chrome on it, but it does. When you buy it, it looks nice with the chrome. It has nicer fog lights and little air vents on the car. On the interior, the screen is much larger. The controls are a lot more solid looking. They're less plasticky and more metal looking. The steering wheel looks nice. The speedometer and the tachometer just look a little bit nicer than the Focus and the Forte in my opinion. Everything, it's just like they took the Focus and the Forte and they just upgraded it just a tiny bit. And again, the horsepower is a bit less, but honestly, you're not going to notice 8 horsepower, so that really doesn't matter. And it's the same price as the Ford Focus, but it does look nicer, and that's the reason why I put it number 3 on this list. And number 2 on this list is going to be the 2018 Camaro One LS. Don't freak out, I know it's an inline-4 Camaro, but I mean, I have some good explanations, so hear me out. Again, it's a 2.0 liter inline-4 turboed engine. It puts out 275 horsepower. And it's also going to cost you under 20K, which is actually quite a steal, in my opinion. And I have a few reasons. I know a lot of people are going to look down on it because it's a 4-cylinder Camaro. But first of all, half the people you talk to aren't even going to know that it's a 4-cylinder Camaro. And they're just going to see a Camaro and think it's like there's so many people I know who you'll see like a 2010 Camaro and they think, oh, that's like a sports car. That's like $50,000. People, they don't know. And still, you can still have fun with this Camaro. It's a manual car. It has 275 horsepower. I mean, it has a turbo, so you're gonna get that kind of that fun aspect of driving a turbo car. And it's just, you're still gonna have a lot of fun with it. And yes, it would be better to have a V6 Camaro or a V8 Camaro, but if you don't have the money for it, say you want to spend under $20,000 and you want a new car, this is definitely the way to go. Plus, insurance is going to be a lot nicer to you with an inline-4 Camaro than it will with a V8 Camaro. I know that for sure. But it has the same looks as the Camaro. It has the really nice taillights. The aggressive front grille and headlights, and people are still, they're going to know it's a Camaro, and they're not really going to know the difference between a V8 and an inline-4 unless if they're a car enthusiast. And honestly, it's going to sound pretty good too. So pretty much you get the fun aspect of a Camaro. It's not quite as fast, but that's okay, and you're paying a significantly less amount of money. I think it's a pretty good deal. And finally, number 1 is going to be the 2018 EcoBoost Mustang, which is similar to the Camaro One LS, 2.0 liter turbo engine, under $20,000. The only difference is that this is actually going to put out 310 horsepower instead of 275, which is actually a lot faster than the inline-4 Camaro. I mean, 310 to 275 is a pretty significant difference. The 310 range, you're gonna have a lot of fun with this car. I mean, my favorite car to drive and the fastest car I've ever driven is the Infiniti Q50, and that runs at around 325 horsepower, I believe, and that car is fast. So this EcoBoost Mustang is actually gonna be pretty fast for an inline-4 engine. That's pretty impressive, and it's still a great deal. Again, you have the same looks as the Mustang. It actually looks pretty similar to the V6 Mustang, I believe. I'm not sure there's any telltale signs that the V6 Mustang and the EcoBoost Mustang are actually different on the exterior. I don't think you can really tell them apart from the exterior. I mean, I'm sure someone who knows a lot about Mustangs will, but the average person actually won't be able to tell them apart. And it's still 310 horsepower, so it's definitely nothing to sneeze at. You're not going to get beaten by your friend in a Nissan Altima or anything like that. And it's under $20,000, so it's a great price. It has all the same features as a Mustang, and it's a great deal, honestly. So that's going to be it for this list. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, be sure to drop me a like down below and drop me a comment on what you want to see in future videos. Don't worry, I will make a best new used cars, or best used cars, not new used cars, in the future. I will be making that video, so stay tuned for that, and be sure to subscribe if you want to see it. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Say that it feels right.